this one. Yeah, probably it's gonna probably be shorter.
Cool.
And then main cam. So what's up, everybody? We're gonna pull this up real quick.
Hello, me llamo Beme.
Inside joke, guys. Don't worry about it.
It's the beginning of a new future.
It's Team Bame. Anyways, we're doing
I
a special today. We're doing special show. Nobody.
Hey guys, welcome to the special show weekly.
Yeah. So we're gonna be pretty much doing this only 3 times during the season. It's week 4. It's
three. Yeah.
It's only week 4.
Yeah.
We're only gonna do it 3 times a season. And it's probably gonna be after episode 4, 8, and 12. So those are the specifications for this. Anyways,
This special show.
yeah, a special show. It's a spoiler Sunday. So
Whoa,
essentially, we
what
will
does
be
that mean?
we'll be going into how does this work. So
Does it have to do with spoilers on Sundays?
Yeah.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, it does.
I
So,
would never have guessed
So
because we don't have one.
yeah, not today. Okay.
No, dude, it's everyone on chat is our guest.
So yeah, we're starting here. First of all, spoiler warning. If you don't want to know about the current status of the season,
Yeah, dude,
Or an
everything is
episode.
fair game here.
everything is fair game at this
We do
point.
anything, even your favorite movie. Cough, cough.
Cough, cough.
No one will spoil the next presidency.
Yeah. So
Stay tuned.
on the right side, you know where that bar thing is. We will be updating that according to which show we are on. But also at the bottom of the screen, we'll have little tabs so that you
Yeah.
guys can see what show we're actually on.
You don't have to cover your ears and go do anymore, guys. Just mute.
Yeah,
It's
press the mute button.
It's the speaker icon on the bottom left of your Twitch screen.
So yeah,
For those old people in chat or viewing, we cater to all audiences except midgets.
you can't just say that. Dude. Oh my god.
All right, here's the for today.
If you don't if you don't like our opinions,
Spoil-
please talk to us.
Yeah,
We're willing to
yeah,
tear you
yeah.
apart or agree with everything.
Join us on chat as long as you can reach the keyboard.
So anyways, here's today's agenda. No big deal.
Like Smalls.
We're going to Gun-Gale Online Alternate, Steins Gate, Zero, Hero Academy, Lupin the Third, Shokugeki 3, Darling in the Franxx, and Infinity Wars. Cause
Yeah,
we can't.
man, it's the biggest anime of the season.
Yep. I guess if you
It's got the big cast. Boku no Hero Academia starting to look like that. I kind of wish they approach that, or someone takes the time to invest long term in a series that reflects kind of like what Marvel did, because they kind of set themselves up for this, right? They
Mhm.
just release individual movies, making you like individual character, and they bring it together. It's like the equivalent of taking every Shonen Jump character, putting them in some anime, and then fighting against a super strong enemy, which they should do, by the way.
Guys, listen to my idea. Jump ball. Hello. Yeah.
The sports.
We need that. We need the anime equivalent of Space Jam.
Wait, is Kuroko no Baskets a Shonen Jump or no?
So yeah,
That's pretty
Kuroko.
OP, dude.
No. The thing is, the monsters, the enemies, take their powers away from the Generation Miracles, so they will have the Generation of Miracles on their side.
Oh, okay.
So we have to get everybody else to join. Anyways, that's just my.
They turn
my idea.
evil, and then everyone else on Shonen Jump has to save them by beating them.
In basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how it's gonna go.
The big crossover.
Huge crossover.
It's spoiler, by the way. We saw the future. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. So yeah, prepare yourself. We will be going into a lot of detail on these shows. So, first off, we'll go into Gun-Gale. I do have little notes here. About this in specific. Overall, good action during Squad Jam. I was really happy about that whole action thing.
Hey, you know what, man? People may or may not like the series, but it's got action, if anything. You got hype scenes. I don't know, Golden Kamuy, good scenes, but it's not like hype. Probably the closest thing this season is Megalobox
Mm-hmm.
for hype, for in terms of action, but it's like it's different. It's like boxing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's
I mean,
more like
boxing
a-
has built-in action just because of
yeah,
the way
it's
how
very
it is.
hype. I mean, it's close. I would say there aren't really moments where you hold your breath though. That's the thing. It's more of like, you know that Joe's gonna do something big, or something like that. But they don't really focus on like technique as much, or no, like you know,
Training.
they don't
For it.
choose shots that focus on like particular moves. Like oh, he hits this like uppercut. That's his signature. Like
Yeah.
what's Joe's signature attack? Right? Is it left? Is it his jab?
No
Is it-
gear.
no gear. It's just he has no gear, right? But it's
Yeah.
like it's more like the what surrounds the fight in a way, almost like Gurazeni. If Gurazeni was good,
Yeah.
like they focus on how the characters, like the side characters, also affect Joe's mentality, and then his fight. You know, it's more up to like his. It's almost like a psychological fight at this
Because
point.
that one's pitcher versus.
Yeah, they focus a lot on what
batter.
goes on in his head rather than what actually happens on the fight. Maybe we
Mhm.
haven't fought like a super tough opponent yet until recently.
Yeah.
Do spoilers, but it's spoiler Sunday. We'll
Yeah.
get to
We'll
that.
get to. Well, it's not in the agenda.
Well, you know,
but we
I'll
can
spoil
touch
it.
it.
Yeah, man. You know, what's his name? Nanbu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nanbu's previous.
Student.
Yeah,
Comes
student,
back.
Comes back. Dude, that was a Pepe Hands episode. I gotta
Yeah.
be honest. That was, yo, man, veterans. That's a sad episode. I actually want him to win though. So
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see if he wins. They count to 9,
Yeah.
not to 10.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's just the end of that episode.
I
we
do see
don't
him.
know.
I do see him losing though.
Yeah.
Just to drag it out or see what happens.
Yeah. It gives him an antagonist. It's like Joe's not invincible
Yeah.
because he's beaten every single person he's fought so far.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, back to Gungale.
Hey guys, Gale's action
Yeah.
top notch. Probably the best this season, if not tied for it.
If so, also, what do you think about Len getting over the height complex? Do you think that's the whole Gungale thing still helping out
You
with
know,
that, or?
I think it's a normal thing
Mhm.
that they address. I don't know if there's a lot of tall girls in Japan, obviously, but you know, I guess that's why she would have a complex first of all.
Mhm.
But her getting over that, it's a great. It seems more positive. You know, that's the
Mhm.
thing I like about this particular variation, or what was it, interpretation of the Sword Art series. It's like it's no longer angsty Kirito in a harem, whatever you like to call it, just like messing around with his OP skills, and angst. Everyone dies for real. It's like now you just chill out, play games, see how it affects your day-to-day life. Maybe you're a tall complex, and now you can just enjoy yourself, you know, kind of like, well, we'll get to Darling in the Franxx later.
Yeah,
but
for sure. We'll
you
we'll
know,
touch on that in a
you
second.
you gotta have some peaceful anime sometimes, and it's really good to see Sword Art Online in a more peaceful setting. Cause like people
Yeah.
who watch Sword Art Online series, they know like there's that one like section, not really an arc, but like the section where like Asuna and Kirito are living peacefully together with Yui,
Mhm.
or like, you know, it really would have been nice to see them focus on kind of like the world. I mean, you know, it's a short series. They don't have time to focus on that aspect of it, but I think they designed like a really cool concept. I think everyone agrees with that. It's just that they didn't deliver. But they could have also taken some time to explore the world, I guess. You know, you want to see like Nagi, the weaponsmith guy.
Mhm.
You want to see like what happens around that area. How does day-to-day life work? How do you make money? You know, what do other people do? There's like a whole. They briefly mention it. There's like this whole ecosystem almost of like people who kind of just like come to terms
Mhm.
with like their situation there. So they exist with like their shops, merchants, all this stuff. And you know, it just gave you a really good insight into what kind of life goes on. But it was like very brief. And here they kind of touch on like, you know, the actual player's life now.
Mhm.
It's more chill. Hopefully we get more lore on like Gungale Online. I think kind of briefly taken the world in the introductory episodes of Gungale Online, the first arc. But in this arc, it's like, yeah, we get, you know, it's like they kind of assume that we know what GGO is already. They do give a brief introduction, but it's more of, hopefully we see them focus on the inner or more specific aspects of GTO rather than like the big picture, because we get a lot of big picture stuff in Sword Art Online due to the nature of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Here, now that they finished Squad Jam, kind of predicting, we'll see more either interaction in real life or hopefully in the game. Like you'll see Squad Jam, but then that was like the first Squad Jam. Maybe we'll have more tournaments, or maybe you'll see Kirito, pop up in his questionable gender outfit. But yeah, a lot of things to predict. I mean, we got M, Pito. Who are they?
Yeah.
What do you think? You got any theories?
I think you and I both agree that.
Yeah.
Briefly
touched on this.
Yeah, we briefly did. We think that Pito is the one artist who she listens to all the time.
Elsa Kanzaki.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one who's like, oh yeah, I want to get tickets to a show.
And then at the same time, like, yeah, she said like, if I can't get tickets to this, then I can't make Squad Jam. Well, I'll make Squad Jam.
I also want to.
But at the same time, Pito said like, I couldn't make it. Period. So either she's busy on the same day that it's happening.
Hey, coincidence? There's no coincidence in anime, dude.
And then M, we think M is like
a wedding, but
yeah.
She wouldn't go to a wedding.
She wouldn't go to a wedding.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Does she look like someone who would go to someone's wedding?
Never know. So, anyways, M we think is her manager.
Yeah, M for manager.
M for manager.
But they do. I mean, how do I put it? It's an interesting relationship because she said she would kill him, which I guess.
Well, like
that's something she would say.
She would be. Yeah.
I can't imagine like what kind of manager it is then. Maybe it's like a tough guy who's actually soft, but he's like his manager.
Maybe he's just like some thin, like, intellectual type, because he knows how to shoot a gun, like an actual gun, because he doesn't need to use the sight lines.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like he's.
I mean, it makes sense.
He could be Klato Taco.
The opposite of their.
Complex. Their actual complex. So he could be like some skinny, frail dude who just happens to be like a gun enthusiast.
Yeah. Would that be a manager? Yeah. He could be a manager. You can be a more business oriented manager.
Well, I mean, they do greet each other in a very like, formal way. It's not like it's not like, yo, what's up?
Like, I think because like you establish by listening to their conversation styles, is like they're not really friends. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're like friendly, but it's like if you pick up on like the type of language they use each other, like whether or not it's formal or like it's kind of informal, but it's like formal but kind of informal, kind of like if you're associated with someone but you're also respectful.
Yeah.
So it's like, we work together for a long time kind of deal. That's the kind of impression we get from them. Mm-hmm. But not enough to be like, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
So it would be.
That'd be weird.
They still remember their position.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
So that's exactly what we think about that. I think that wraps it up pretty much for Gun Gale. I do like the way how they're starting to build the community around it for the most part. We saw at the end of the latest episode how she met up with the ending.
That one I didn't expect to. I mean, they kept coming up, and I was also wondering like, who were the girls at the start?
Yeah. Like why do they keep going back to them? Like why do they always show them like passing each other? Was one question that I had. I was like,
they're probably significant. I didn't know if they were friends or
Well, and then I was just like, what? She's just tall. Like, is that just to show that she's tall, or is it really? Is there something else that really builds into that? Do you think that it was like, oh yeah, she's tall, and this is to prove it because she's walking next to a bunch of kids, or is it like, yo, we'll keep showing you the same kids leaving the same time from like school or something like that? But we didn't really expect them to kind of weave into the Gun Gale thing, but it's a good motif if you want to really read into it that hard. So yeah, this is we Gucci on GG.
Yeah, I think we'll start seeing some. I think they're hinting at meeting. They're foreshadowing at meeting people in real life, because you can guess they kind of just knew that they're. I mean, she had the big keychain. Yeah. So it was like she can guess, but like, also, I mean, they kind of have the mannerisms, and they called her boss. Mm-hmm. So she was, what's her name? Len. Yeah. I forgot her real name already.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Len. And she's like, hey, couldn't be, because call her boss. Mm-hmm. But that scene alone, I think they put like, it seems like they put enough effort into that scene to justify a later time where they meet someone else in real life.
Yeah.
Like they're hinting at meeting people in real life, I think.
Yeah.
In this kind of story. So definitely gonna meet Elsa Kanzaki in one way or another, or Pito Hui, as you know, we'd probably guess.
Yeah.
Just on how. That's probably the big question.
Yeah.
How they're gonna meet each other. Also, like I'm secretly wondering if Elsa or Pito Hui had something to do with not getting tickets.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I want to like have an inner conspiracy theorist here. It's like, hey, you know, I wanted to play Squad Jam, so I'm gonna just not give this girl tickets specifically.
Yeah.
Don't sell her. You can probably guess who she is, but you know, she doesn't know her real name though. So,
Yeah, she doesn't. So
you
we don't know.
But maybe she had just like certain people.
Yeah.
Tickets. Everyone from Hokkaido, no tickets.
Yeah.
That's all she knew.
All right. So yeah, we'll be moving on to Steins Gate Zero.
Yeah.
I
Let's go from
specifically
happy,
picked these two.
Pepe Hands.
Yeah.
The anime.
Pepe Hands the anime. Welcome to Steins Gate. So yeah, I'll give you guys a couple minutes if you guys want to flip it. But anyways,
Alright, minutes are over, guys. We just time traveled.
Yep.
Welcome to Steins Gate Zero.
Steins Gate Zero. All right. So do you think Okabe ever wants to go back into the Steins Gate? Or tries to rebuild. We know or we believe that this is after the original events of Steins Gate, the Steins Gate 1 that we know. But we like to think that this whole timeline. This is just him like experimenting through the whole timeline, like the full timeline after the whole Kirisu incident and all that stuff. So, do you ever think that he's gonna decide to hop back and do time travel again, even though he does understand the repercussions of it?
You know, I don't think he's gonna time travel back to when Kurisu died in this case. Well, I mean, first of all, they don't show it in the first season because you would have figured it out by then.
Yeah.
But also because the whole first season was him trying to go back and seeing what happened, and this is him coming to terms or kind of just giving up. How depends how you look at it, but it's his attitude or his mental state after giving up. That's kind of what it focuses on in this season. And he I mean recently, just a recent episode, he had the flashback. I don't know if it was a flashback or a flash forward or a vision from the future. I don't know how that works since it doesn't. I mean,
it's like that.
I
So Raven.
I don't know if they had that in the previous season. Season 1, basically.
Where he would just like see things from the future.
Yeah, because he saw things from. Oh well, actually, he saw things from other world lines.
Yes.
But he was the same age, I want to say, from those world lines. So it's kind of weird in this case because I don't think he's the same age from there. You have to.
I think he's older here, because he's finally going to college and everything.
He's older. Well, this is like a few months. They say it's a few months after the Kurisu incident.
Yeah.
So he's only like, if anything, a year older.
Yeah.
Technically, but like his flashback. I mean, it's hard to tell because he always looks. I always thought that he looked hella old.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, when I first watched the anime, I thought he was 36 or something. But no, he's 18 apparently, looking like that as normal. Which is not. But yeah, he in the future, he didn't really have. I mean, he looked exactly the same. I don't know. He's supposed to be that age, but they do say that they start looking for them in 2036, and then we can assume that the current timeline, I want to say, is 2011.
It's like 2011, 2009.
2011. Well, because 2010 was. Oh gosh,
Whatever.
We need like a timeline for this anime, dude. But
well, that's just how Steins Gate is. It's always about time travel and figuring out like what's going wrong with everything.
I mean, this discussion right now, it's more like not really the end result because we watched the end result.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like how did they get there? What we're expecting. I kind of want to know. Well, they did introduce the new character, Kagari, whatever her last name was. Kurisu's daughter, probably. I mean, come on. He's just red hair.
The question is it? That's Mayuri's daughter, right? Mayuri's adopted daughter.
She's adopted. But why is she adopted?
So.
Because Kurisu's dead.
Does that mean? Well, but I'm thinking it could be a possibility. They said that they dropped her like off in a certain timeline, right? And she would have been 22.
Yeah,
by
they dropped
that
her
age.
off in 1995.
Yeah, so she would have been, 95. So she would have been
But
20
she was 10.
when she was, okay, 95.
No, 98?
It had to be 98.
Right? Because
So
whatever,
there's a
20,
10.
22 adds up to, dude. We don't do math.
Yeah.
It's 22,
so it's,
she was 12 years ago.
12 years ago. So
Oh,
that
yeah,
it would be 2010 in their current time.
Okay, yeah, so then in 1998 she was dropped off.
Yeah.
Oh,
So what if she is Kirisu? No.
But like when Kurisu was 10, and then you have to grab Kurisu. I don't know, she seems kind of different though from Kurisu. Like in terms of her personality. You know what I mean?
But we can't really
like
tell.
she seems like an offspring of her rather than actually Kurisu.
Yeah.
Plus like
Well then, like the
'cause
real
Kurisu
question is like
dies.
if she's like hypothetically the daughter of Kirisu, how is she even born if Kirisu is dead?
so then you'd have to assume that okay, either she comes from a world line where Kurisu had a baby,
Yeah.
nothing bad happened, but then she got transported there somehow. Or she's-
Amadeus learns how to have babies.
yeah, I was like, that's another theory. We thought
Holy shit.
she was Amadeus, and they implant her memories from Amadeus into a human being, and then just kill the kill shit, and
Yeah.
they string together something that works with
Yeah.
the mind. Either that, or well, I mean, it wouldn't make sense because then it'd be Kurisu also, basically, because it's basically a recreation of Kurisu.
Yeah.
So she'd already know herself
Or
as a
would she?
Kurisu?
Oh, what if it's like
Unless they
that's
reset
like
them.
something that they lose, or I don't know, man. Anyways,
a lot
we
of
have to figure out
complicated
where
stuff
she
here.
is. If
Maybe
she
find
even
her.
does show up,
Who, Kurisu or the girl?
the girl.
Yeah, she showed up already. She's at Rukako's house.
Was that the latest episode?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch?
I don't know. I didn't.
Spoiler
Rip.
Sunday.
Well, yep. I
guys.
guess. So and
But it's at the end of the
on
episode,
completely like. Oh, was it like an end credit scene?
Sort of. In there before the credits, and then it cuts the credits, kind of thing. It's like.
What episode are we on?
Uh,
Because I'm pretty
Five?
sure I've seen it then. Like
well, I don't know.
I
man, it's
watched
so
the
much anime.
episode.
Well, it's the episode where. It's right after he makes the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Did I
They start
not
looking
get
for
to
her?
that?
well, cause you know that they're looking for her, right?
Yeah, I know that they
Yeah.
were looking for her.
It's
but-
at the end. You know, they're talking at the temple. It's like, oh yeah, my dad Rukako's like, I need advice.
Oh yeah, she's like, oh yeah, could you come over?
yeah, I need advice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
we
wait.
we saw her.
Yeah, and then it was her and then like some older guy. I
Yeah.
don't know who that was.
So. Okay, so yeah, we do know the whereabouts of where she
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
but we just don't know who or what that is. And then another thing is, we'll go into my next question. Is Amadeus trying to ship Okabe and Maho?
I mean, that's pretty obvious.
Do you?
I mean, you got. She's trying to. She doesn't know yet. I mean, it's something typical of her because you know she likes him, but you know sometimes you like someone, but like you're an AI, so you don't want to get involved. You know that feeling. So then
You
you're
know
like,
the feeling when you're artificial intelligence and you just can't.
But yeah, this is like a human trait. I don't know if people talk about this much. I've seen this all the time. It's if you know, you're someone who, let's say you're a guy. Oh, in this case, we'll just say you're a girl. So, because Kirsty is technically female,
Yeah.
she's AI. So she's like, okay, I'm a girl. I have my really nice female friend, Maho,
Yeah.
magic girl. But yeah, she's like my best friend, man. I care about her. And then there's this new
Amadeus
guy.
is just like an AI wingman.
Basically, well, it's like because people subconsciously wingman. I think when they like someone, you know, it's like a defense mechanism for romance. I see it all the time. It's like I'm sure you know people who've done this or you've done it yourself. It's like you have a best friend who's like you care about, you know, same gender as you, and then you have someone new who's like, wow, this person's nice, I dig them, but because I like them, I'll ship my best friend with them because I want what's best for my best friend. And my best friend seems to, you know, not dislike them kind of deal. So then you're like, oh yeah, you're shipping, and then you're like, wait, I like that person. This happens all. It's like the fuel for like every love triangle story, like ever.
Yeah.
And it happens.
It's like
you know,
Dora, like to the biggest extent. where it's like, you know,
Does? Oh, well,
she's like, yo, I'll help you get with him. You help me get with
that's
her.
kind of like the premise, though. It wasn't like something. It was pretty conscious. It was like, well,
I mean,
she
it was
wasn't
double
conscious about
wingman
how much
idea.
she liked him, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. But it's like they kind of went in doing the wingman thing on
Yeah,
purpose.
they started out with that, and then it's just
It's
like, no.
starting from this end.
Yeah.
But you know, you see it. I mean, it happens like every harem-ish. I mean, God, Nisekoi. God, what a disaster.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about that. Everyone who's seen that knows how it goes.
Yeah, we're trying to get to that.
But yeah,
I'm trying to get around to that. I finished first season. I didn't get to second season.
you know, when
I was like, yo, there's way too many Onoderas right now.
sometimes you just gotta take a break from romance anime.
Yeah, and just watch something super depressing like Sensei Zero.
Nisekoi. After that, I was like, man, Well, actually, when I finished Nisekoi, I want to cheer myself up because I was a Pepe Hands.
Yeah.
But no spoilers for that on Spoiler Sunday. The real question, Suzu. The hell is she doing?
Exactly. So
What's
that's
the
the
problem?
really thing that we have that I had questions about. It's like, if Suzu's still there, what is she trying to achieve? She has a time machine.
Oh, I
she-
mean, technically,
like,
she's trying to look for.
She's trying to. She says like, we need to reach Steins Gate. We need to reach like the penultimate like savior line or whatever, where none of this ever happens. But if that's so, like, she has to convince Okabe to come back or do something with that. But he's been getting flash forwards or technically flash forwards, right? Where he just starts seeing like World War III breaking out and stuff like that. So does that matter? Like, my real question is how long can Suzu stay there, and then on top of that, like, how much would her interaction, butterfly effect into the future? Because we're assuming that.
Well, I
you know-
mean, just the butterfly effect that she creates leads to well, you kind of know where it goes.
Yeah.
It's what's interesting though is like they send the same age Suzu back in time to tell the Okame in season 1 to fake the death.
Yeah.
She's the same age, so it means that sometime in the future, either Suzu dies, like this Suzu that we have right now, or she tells the new Suzu something. There'll be some weird stuff going on
Yeah.
here. But
Because like, it's really hard to have the same person twice, right? Isn't there like there's a
Well, she'll get
complex in
older.
like the same thing? Yeah.
But I mean, technically, it's possible. I mean, it's just transferring a person. It's just that you don't see the older version of Suzu come back in the past ever.
Okay.
So, because like, assuming this Suzu right now that we have stays here until 2036, when they figure out, hey, we just fake Kurisu's death. Well, it's more like not figuring out that they should fake it, but more like they kind of try everything else because they just haven't thought of it, but they're trying like all these other options because you assume that you can't get around Kurisu's death. I think that was like Okabe's mistake. So then they live the next couple of years like doing all this stuff. Although I don't think that they're able to go back in time. Like they don't have the phone microwave because Kurisu's not there.
Yeah. So they can't really make progress on that without Kirisu.
But CERN gets the details
Yes.
because the guy already. I mean, they had the scene in this episode where he has the phone thing. Which actually that one I'm still kind of confused about that. I think a lot of people are.
Which one?
It's like when he makes a call, like, or he reacts from the call, right? And then there's like something that happened. I can't even tell after you're watching, but it's there's an event that goes on right after he makes the call. He runs to the room to see if Mayushi's okay, right?
Yes.
And she is, and he's cool. And then he talks to Maho after that. She's like, what's wrong? You talked to me correctly or something. He talked to her normally after the call, and he's like, I don't remember that at all, right? Because he had the mind. What's it called again? When he has the travels world lines.
Oh,
The
Reading Steiner.
Yeah. That weeb shit. No, I was kidding. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, the only people who can make Reading Steiner activate are CERN at this point. So that means they probably did their first test, and he's probably picking up onto that. But we'll see where it goes. I think it'd be interesting to see how they react to maybe a quick decline.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It seems to be traveling quickly. I mean, right now it's 2011, right? Technically, because
2010, 11ish.
it should be like 22ish. So yeah, I mean 2011 because it's like a few months. So it's around 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have to make it that far, but it seems like they're already making pretty quick progress
Mm-hmm.
on the time machine.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, honestly, or maybe because it was written like back then, but like 26 years now, like things grow at a much faster pace than we think.
Yeah.
So it begs the question: do they actually come from 2036, or is it like 2022 or something? You know, I don't know.
Well, we know
Let's
that
see what
the
goes.
world just ended. However long it took World War III to fully take effect
Yeah.
over the time machine deal. So I really don't question like the time it takes them. The only thing that I really question is like how long did it take people to really understand that time machines are going to be the thing that started this, and then how long does the war start
Wait,
once
how old
the
is
time machine starts?
Suzuha? She's 18.
How old is Suzu?
Yeah, she's 17.
I want to say 18.
18,
I'm not
right?
100%
Like 17,
sure.
18.
Yeah,
That's big.
something
Because
like
then that means they would have her. Let's
I
say
could check real quick.
2036, right? Is when she comes back, but she's
Mhm.
18 at that time.
Yeah.
So assuming that, you have to go back 18 years ago. So that means Daru and his wife have her at 2018.
Yes,
So then that's 8 years from
the current
now.
time. Yes.
So either like, was this confirmed for 2 cores?
Uh,
I don't remember that. Because I don't know if this would fit in 12 episodes. Either you'd have a time skip where, it just gets to a certain point where they just start skipping to major events and then
Yeah.
ending around
Yeah,
the big
Suzu's
message.
18.
Yeah, so she's 18. There's 8 years to cover. It's a lot of time
I think
to
it
cover.
might be another 22. I think that's how long Steins Gate 0 will go. It's a 23 episode, so it is technically a 2-core.
So I definitely see some time skips coming.
Either time
that's
skips or
wild.
just let it roll out, because it is a 23. I mean, they might have time
16
to do
years, a lot of time.
it. Well, yeah, time skip through certain parts, but I wouldn't
Kind
say
of like how Rakugo does time skips.
Yeah.
It's like you still get a lot of major events, but I think they
They
one thing,
cover-
they handle time skips really well.
Mhm.
Like it's
It's
it
turned
feels
into the
long
story.
enough where you can live the whole thing without being taken out of the moment.
Mhm.
So it's good. Watch Steins Gate. I mean, you don't have to recommend it at this point. Everyone's seen it,
Yeah,
and if you haven't, you know about it.
and you're
It's
listening
like
to
that
our,
anime.
to us like rant about it the whole time.
Yeah.
Can you pass me some of the gum?
Oh, yeah,
behind
yeah.
with I think it was
Alright, guys, sponsored by.
We're not sponsored.
Alright, guys, not sponsored.
Not
by...
sponsored, but we would like it. But we actually have to get big before we could actually get sponsored.
Oh, I'm big already. Alright, next slide.
So yeah, moving on.
Hero Academy, booyah.
Hero 3.
Y'all know. I mean, I think we all have the same guesses. Okay, here's.
That's
the-
Bakugo's dad.
Yeah, let's be honest. He looks just like him.
He's here to pick up his son
He
from
sounds
summer
like
camp.
him, he speaks like him, and he's like, "Have you seen my son? We're gonna turn him into a monster."
It's like Finding Nemo.
I mean, when I first saw the intro, like before
Before
he
even-
introduced the character, I thought,
yeah.
is that Bakugo? He learned like a muscle power now or something?
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, come on, he looks exactly like him. But yeah,
He has the same sort of aggression too, so that's why we're really into that.
That probably explains why Bakugo's so, Bakugo-y.
Yeah.
Did they show his mom? I think they never show his parents.
Nope.
So I think that's a big thing. Whenever they don't show someone's parents and they make them mention it or make you question it, it's always intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely Bakugo's dad at this point. Let's be honest here. They just finished a fight with the gas guy, League of Villains.
Well, yeah, we're about to go into this. This is the the League of Villains, the Vanguard Action Squad, as their real name is. They had who they showed off at least. I gotta swerve around the camera sometimes. Twice has the ability to double people.
Also make songs called Heart Shaker.
I don't know what that reference is.
Dabi. No, and Twice? No, Likey. Oh, dude, it's K-pop. Spoilers, crappa.
Well, spoiler Sunday. Dabai, Himiko. Dabai.
Dabi, Himiko Toga. Who's that again?
It's the smiling girl. We
yeah,
didn't get to see her
yandere
quirk yet.
Girl.
Moonfish, who's
fighting Bakugo and Todoroki.
Todoroki right now. And then there's Mustard, who he's the gas guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Magne.
Magne is the person who was fighting the large cat dude.
Oh yeah. Well,
That's a girl. She's transgender.
And Spinner with the
Spinner, the
super
lizard dude
sharp
with the
crazy sword.
crazy swords.
And
Yeah, muscular.
guy.
His name is Muscular. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's part of the League of Villains, so we have to look forward to that.
You know, actually, when you think about it, his quirk has to do with his muscles.
Mm-hmm.
And Bakugo, well, it's not really. Well, is it his muscles?
Bakugo's is his sweat glands, technically
Yeah.
speaking.
So it's like around that skin area, you know.
Yeah.
I want to say
I want to know
That-
what his mom's power is. If that's his dad.
good skin.
Yeah, it's like
Hey man, that's good. Or maybe she can take her skin off. Yeah, I don't want to think about it. That's how she died, lol.
anyways,
Sting.
once again we're getting back into we saw during the last fight.
Yeah, dude, I like how Spinner feels like he had a sense of honor.
Spinner
Sort of.
had the ideals of Stain, which
Yeah.
is something that I wanted to touch on in particular. Stain's whole like mentality was that heroes should be doing it for not like glory and not for fame and money, but rather to just save people in general, which you saw specifically with Spinner. Spinner has like Stain's mask and everything. He pretty much just wants to inspire heroes to do it just to be heroes. Like that's the whole goal of Stain. But you know, Stain just took it to a whole ridiculously high level of like killing those who are unworthy. Same thing. Not the same thing here for Spinner. Spinner was just like, okay, yeah, Deku is on that dude's list, but they said that, like, Stain would have spared him because he's fighting for honor. So I like how it's creating a little bit of a rift in the guy, in Spinner specifically, that we see so far. Yes, they may be doing it in the wrong way, but at least they're trying to moralize the characters. So
Definitely. I mean, good character design. Everyone knows this. You know, if you make the bad side not seem so bad, makes things a lot more complex. You know, leads to good writing. You don't want your villains to be like, oh, I just like killing people.
yeah, because it's
Muscular.
evil.
Well, not always.
Well, we don't know about Muscular. Muscular was like, I just want to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, basically. I mean, like, but you know, he could have a reason. Like from maybe at the start of his power or something, like people around him was like, no, I just want to kill people.
Mhm.
You know, everyone has backstories.
Yeah, so we just have to figure out what backstory of all these other characters, and
Maybe he's crazy.
yeah, maybe he's just extra crazy.
Maybe he lost his mind somehow, or maybe he lost.
Maybe
faith in humanity.
maybe all of his brain soaked into his muscles.
Yeah, maybe he has no brain. That's why he has muscle power.
Makes sense.
Easy explanation. I mean, we can't really guess too far. I mean, we kind of know where things are going. I don't want to try to say certain things because a lot of people here probably read the manga. We're not trying to spoil the manga
Mm-hmm.
or take spoilers from the manga because kind of building out the anime here. Sometimes they do things differently as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I do like that we got more action of Kendo, big girl, big fist girl.
The ultimate counter to mustard gas is just waving your hands,
Yeah,
your
dude,
giant
just-
hands.
I could have just slapped him also, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
Just slap
I
the
mean,
shit out of this
it
guy.
just created some space for the other the metal dude, but yeah.
I mean, it just reminds me of like all my favorite characters. Rico. All right, so next anime we got
Okay, yeah,
Next
we'll
one,
go on to the next one.
we got Lupin 3 Part 5. Classic series.
Yeah,
We
we
got some good
specifically
stuff.
have to talk about the last couple episodes when it came down to
Yeah.
the Lupin
well,
game and
you
how
know,
it ended.
I mean, it's like I think this will be their only big arc for the season. I want to say it's kind of like the introductory arc because usually it's episodic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
It's really weird how they're not doing it episodically this time too. It's like one
it
continuous
might.
story.
I feel like because they made one episode, so either it was like it was intended to be a movie almost, or just
Yeah.
like a. I mean, I like that they did it. Almost.
Mhm.
It was like different, and they fleshed out like that whole thing better. You know, taking the time. That's the point of series is taking the time to
Mhm.
actually, you know, do everything at a normal pace. Movie, you always feel constricted. But I think next episode they're going to tackle. They're going to go back into episodic. That's my guess. Is that because they have the preview for like the smart safe,
Mm-hmm.
and I see that you kind of see all the details for the episode in the preview. So from that you can kind of garner that it's going to be episodic again. That's my guess. Maybe I don't know if they started the what was it part 3 part 4. But they
What
started
about
part
part
4 the same way. It was episodic from the start, right?
Yeah.
So here maybe they just try doing that something new. For this case, but it's probably going to be episodic from now on. I don't see it. Maybe 2 episodes at most, but definitely like from the amount that they showed.
Well, it was kind of, in my opinion, it was reversed from what they did from Lupin 4. Did you finish? You finished Lupin 4 or? Yeah.
I was in and out of episodes.
Okay, I'll just say that the first half of it was very episodic, and then nearing the end there was like a huge like bigger
where it
arc
comes together. Yeah.
where it was like random things just happening, and you're just like, okay, this is definitely going to take more than one episode, and it took like a solid 5.
Yeah, and actually it took what are we on, 6 now? Yeah, it took 5 episodes also
For this whole
This
arc,
last
for this
arc.
last arc,
Yeah.
yeah. So
maybe it's the last the rest of the season, or maybe like a few episodes. But I don't know. It could be another arc. It could go either way.
mhm.
Cause I mean, at the end of the episode, the most recent episode, they say let's go to Spain. But they kind of introduce. Usually, previews won't reveal that much about the next episode. Like
Mhm.
saying they kind of showed that next episode was gonna cover how the smart safe affects his brain, and how he has to recover from that. And then I guess he eventually recovers from it at the end of the episode, which would mean he'd open the safe. So if anything, I only see it being like 2 episodes at most, and it's also kind of a weird time to jump into like another 5-episode arc
Mhm.
because it's gonna be 12
Yeah.
episodes, right? Unless it's 2 core. I don't know if it's confirmed.
I don't believe it's a 2 core.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to be going fine as 12.
I'll check real quick. Since I already have
Yeah,
my.
we'll
my
do
list
some
open.
on-hand research. But yeah, for the most part, we it's actually a weird time to go over spoilers because I mean, the arc
we
is
just
finished,
finished. Yeah. we
so
just
there's
finished
not
the arc.
really anything.
It is a 2 arc. There's a 2 core. They're confirmed for 24 episodes. So.
Okay. Oh, in that case. Yeah, I mean, it's like even if it's 2 core though, they usually want to try to finish around the 12 mark, unless you want to say "fuck you guys, I'm Darling in the Franxx."
Well, I
Let's
mean,
continue
that's
with episode
yeah. It was
16.
just like 16 or whatever.
But
Episode 15.
special.
No, the thing that I think about what Lupin would do, if anything, if they are gonna start another arc, it would be episode 7, and then they complete it by 12.
Yeah,
and then they
that
would
makes
go
sense.
and do
But this would
something
be an
else.
episodic one, and then another, big one. But it's kind of weird because then you'd be having, would it be like just like a filler kind of deal almost,
Yeah.
and then another arc. Doesn't seem like want to spend time on that. I don't know. I mean, maybe it'd be 3 episode arc and then another 3-episode arc.
Possibly you can do it
Kinda
that way,
deal.
but we're sitting
Yeah.
on episode 5 right now.
Yeah, I mean 5 just finished, right?
5 just finished, so we
So we're
would
on
be
6,
getting into episode
6, 7, 8
Yeah.
would be this arc, and then or I mean, because I
mean,
feel
you
like
could just
it'd
do
be
it
2 arc.
episodic all the way till episode 12, and then just restart another arc that way.
Yeah,
it's
then
totally
do
up to them.
I mean, if it's gonna be 2 core, the thing is like it'd be episodic up until the end,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. Well, it depends what they have planned. You never know how it goes with this kind of things. We're not prophets,
Yeah.
but we are weebs with minds and the reading Steiner.
The reading Schneider.
Schneider.
We just
hey
need a we
guys.
just need a video.
Reed Schneider.
Okay. Anyways.
Ron Alma.
No. We're going to the whole thing with the Lupin game. Did all the money go to Fujiko, betting on that last day, or did they all decide to?
You know, I want to say she got most of it.
That's what I was
I
thinking.
want to say she got most. I mean, probably never gonna go over the details, and also doesn't matter. It seems like they would keep enough for them that's reasonable. They're not gonna get like everything. I want to say that Lupin's greedy as well.
Well, the thing is that I was thinking because they wanted Fujiko. Fujiko wanted to end it on that first day, when before Zenigata showed up and picked him up, right?
But she also in it for the business.
Yeah, she was in it for that half as well, but they didn't expect Zenigata to show up.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to end it there, but now we
I mean,
have
they
to wait
mentioned
for it.
They
Yeah,
definitely wanted in the car. That was
So-
the original plan.
that was the original plan, and you would think that Fujiko would have more money down on that, than having to remove everything to whatever day they decided to set up that thing with Jigen and all that. So
You know, I want to say she's the type who would be like, hey, I'll help you guys out if you give me all the winnings from the Lupin game. You know, that's definitely what I'm thinking here. And Lupin would be like, yeah, whatever kind of deal. Because,
Mhm.
I mean, they have money from before that, right? And he's not really in it for the money. It's more like for the thrill.
he's always in it for the thrills. It's
You
not
know,
ever
it's
for
just
the
for
money.
being a thief, man. It's Lupin's shtick,
Yeah.
if you will. So I could see him getting, and eventually the argument gets to the point where I guess it doesn't matter. You know, it's just that she gets either the majority or most of it.
Yeah,
But,
she got paid.
We're talking like billions of dollars here.
Yeah.
So.
And then,
not millions.
We're talking about the Ami and her AR ability. Literally.
I think they'll
juking
bring
the
her
whole
up again
audience.
afterwards.
Yeah.
I see her getting attacked by
Yeah.
people who want revenge
Well,
or something.
like
that.
I mean, the three of those guys want a revenge for the first part, and
Yeah. Are
but
they
we're
alive?
we're getting to that. We don't know if
Is
they're
that guy
alive
dead?
even
like the,
because
the
like
guy with-
Jigen went hunting for that one dude hella
Yeah,
hard,
like-
and then Goemon
He
went
was-
after the girl,
and she looked like she was boned, dude.
Yeah.
She's like, oh shit, I'm dead.
and then the last guy begged for mercy for Zenigata, and Zenigata was like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm in
Yeah.
narcotics now, I can do this.
So he's a confirmed survivor for now, but I mean, do they kill?
I don't think they would kill. I think that they would probably try to turn him into Zenigata.
Like they would capture them because they're not really defense.
They're not
They're
out
just-
for blood.
They're
They're
like
just
business
more for
nerds, you
they're
know.
just
So it's
yeah.
like they'd probably just make them stand down. Honestly, They'd just
Yeah.
like, hey, just don't do anything. We'll just take you to Zenigata or something.
Yeah.
Or arrest them. I don't know what I mean, Jigen would. Well, not Jigen. What's the other guy's name again?
Goemon.
Goemon would probably not kill her.
Mm-hmm.
She'd arrest her.
I mean, he's thirsty.
Jigen.
Who could love a guy with that kind of hair?
Jigen though, it's wild card. You'd have to kill him either by accident or just on purpose if you felt like it. Honestly, It's like, oh yeah, you're dead. But they don't seem like the type to kill them in cold blood.
Yeah.
You never see that in that show from that team, so it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah,
for
but
those
I think the
characters.
only time when I've actually seen Jigen like straight up kill somebody was in it may have been in Lupin 4. There's a scene where he goes to a clinic where they get robbed by this one guy.
I mean, technically, they killed a lot of people at the games, Lupin game.
Yeah.
Like that one showdown, like they all died.
Yeah.
Like they don't talk about it, but
And then
they murdered them. Like he took his hand off with a fishing.
oh
line.
yeah, that was freaking brutal, dude.
I was like,
It's like
Jesus,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, try to reel that in, dude. Just you
Yikes.
can't reel if you don't have hands. But yeah, it was just the whole. He drops a chandelier on some dude. I remember that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was from that or from.
Yeah, there are scenes where people definitely die, and you're just
yeah.
like, oh,
You're just
that
like,
guy.
oh, but then you're
he's
like,
dead,
what?
isn't he?
Yeah,
When you think about it, it's one. You see.
they don't show the gore though because it's still a kid. Like
Yeah, teen. It's
it's
like,
a
well,
teen
you
show.
don't really need gore.
Yeah.
It's like it kind of.
You
I
just
think
know
about-
that things are dying.
It's kind of like Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan movies. It's like he beats up people. Some people get knocked out, but then there's some moments where like, wait, that guy's
That guy's
probably
probably dead.
He's definitely dead.
He's like thrown out a window
Yeah.
from like 3
They-
stories up
They
or
never
whatever.
cut to it, but he's
He's
fucked.
dead. yeah. And then because Lupin's still alive after that
Definitely.
thing. Do you think Zenigata is gonna get back to his old team or like
I mean,
the whole
they
old
confirmed
section?
that he's in his old section at the end of the latest episode.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, guess he got promoted back to his old
Lupin.
position, which was it specifically international affairs thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever allowed him to change after
ICPO or
Lupin.
whatever.
Yeah, there's the main division.
Yeah.
Like I forgot who said that he got back into it, but it was like one of the people.
Yeah.
He got his job back basically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for turning in Lupin.
Yeah.
Oh no, for turning in the narcotics guy.
Yeah.
Good ending. Just stop watching there before anyone dies.
Or well, I doubt that they would ever go to the point where they would kill off one of the main.
I
cast,
think. You
but-
think we're gonna get to a Lupin part 6, or is this the end of
Probably.
Lupin?
You mean if Conan is still going? No.
I mean, this could be a big deal. We can get a.
I mean, they almost killed off. The fact that they, like, even thought of killing Lupin was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
even by the end of, that episode 4 or whatever, I was like, oh shit. Like, is this no longer Lupin the Third? Are they going to have to change it to, like, Jigen or, like, the Jigen
I think
show?
that's the other team, but it's like I want to say that this feels like the time for it to be the last.
Yeah, the
season
last
of
season.
Lupin
They
the Third.
definitely can do it.
Honestly, at least like maybe they'll live, but they retire, or Fujiko
Yeah.
dies or something. Ooh,
That'd
that'd be
be-
big. I want to see Fujiko.
If it would be big, I
if
think
I were
if
directing
Zenigata.
it, I'd make Fujiko die.
I would kill Zenigata, and then they would never have to run again. Like, it just gives them the ability to just rest.
Or Lupin dies saving Zenigata. That's a
There,
good
there's
ending.
a lot to.
That's a big,
there's
there's
a lot of
good
things.
endings. As long as someone dies. That's
As long as
what
it's
I
not
would do.
Goemon or Jigen who dies, and then it's like
It's like
everything
they're not
else. Like,
significant enough to kill off,
yeah, it
I
has
mean,
to be.
maybe they could die, but like it's doing something big near the end.
Yeah.
Probably, and you'd feel it.
Yeah,
So it's wild card for a lot of that stuff, but I'm definitely getting the feeling that they want to end it, at least this Lupin around here, and then maybe they have Lupin 4, or
Lupin
something.
4 would mean that he would get like a son.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be really difficult. I think that they would still want to keep the series going because
That's because they can time skip to when he gets older.
I
Like
mean,
you
you
get to a time where they kind of just finish it. Everyone's alive, but they kind of finish it. Kind of like Naruto, where it's like, all right, yeah, big things are over now, and
I
yeah,
mean,
that's,
Lupin's been going on forever.
Yeah.
Like, considering that, so.
Cause I mean, well, it's Lupin 3, but then they also mentioned Lupin.
Well, he's always Lupin the Third. He's never like, he's never aged, which is why
yeah.
the series can keep going. Yeah. So I doubt that they would ever like kill off or like make Lupin retire, but if they ever do, I think it would be further down the line when people want
A lot
like
further.
huge change. I would think so. I would think that they would go to at
We'll
least.
see. We're making prediction. I mean,
This is a huge
obviously, yeah,
prediction, though.
It's,
It's
yeah,
like-
it's where I'm,
It just depends on how much they
I'm
want to
throwing
milk
it out.
Lupin and how popular Lupin still is.
That's because Lupin. Well, that's probably something to look into. I would say Lupin is. I don't know. There's a good chance. It feels right. You want to quit while you're ahead, kind of deal. You don't want it to just fade out into non-popularity anymore. It was like, oh, it's the big one. It's the end.
I think that they would announce that this would be like the last series before they would go into something like
I
that.
mean, well, if I hear plans about anything, like a next season with Lupin 3, then I'll believe it. But part 5 just looks so clean. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man.
You never
I get
know.
hunches, and 90% of the time I'm correct. So I'm gonna stick with this hunch. I'm gonna say Lupin ends here. Big bold predictions. You're sticking with it ends much later.
I would say that it would end season 10. Like, I would give them another, like, 25 years or so. Like, they would probably go out on an anniversary. Like, that's what I'm saying.
I think
like,
they have an anniversary, but
I don't
I
think
see
you
it
can
over
just
time.
end it now. Like, there's so much left for us to explore on Lupin, in terms of what he can do and what the rest of the team has to offer. If anything, I would like to end it where we at least know that Lupin and everybody else is fine. Like,
yeah.
that's what I want.
I feel like
for sure.
here
'Cause,
it
like-
could end where everyone's
Like,
fine.
if Lupin 4 ended the way how it started, like with him, marrying Rebecca and like that whole thing going, to whatever,
Yeah.
that would have been huge. Like, it just would have been like, okay, Lupin's done. He's retired.
Mm.
he went on it. He's with this new girl now. He can essentially have Arslan Lupin the fourth, if you wanted to. But now that we know that Rebecca's completely out of the picture, we definitely need to know if Lupin lives. If he's gonna keep getting old, like he's talking like an old guy when he's talking to Ami, like
Yeah.
in
I mean,
moments.
I think that's because they're kind of hinting at it. I mean, that's why I'm getting like all these hundreds. Like they hint at younger characters now. It's like to show the age difference, the disparity.
Mhm.
It's like when you show Ami, who has this like, she's at kind of she's focused enough where she becomes like a sizable character for the series. It's like, and also like they have the whole theme of like smartphones and everything, like reflecting.
Well,
on this
he's
and
also getting smarter too.
Well,
Because with Lupin, he still has all of his gadgets that he happens to know how to use.
Yeah.
But maybe they might have to add Ami to the core crew from now on, because they might not be
I think that's why they
technologically
introduced her,
smart enough to
because
do
they
that.
could always reference to her, or like they could always invite her back for something if they need like a specific hack done or something
Yeah.
online that they're not personally capable of.
Mm-hmm.
It's like either
It's like Goemon. Like he just shows up every once in a while to just like go cut a tree or something, and
so
then
it's still Lupin. But it's
come
like
back.
like they introduce her. The thing when they introduce her though is like they set it up, or they at least give the impression that they're foreshadowing, like showing his age off.
Mhm.
In that case, it's like when you introduce a younger character now at this point, it's like, hey, I'm Lupin's getting older. At this point, he's showing signs of, well, he's not really showing signs of aging yet,
Mhm.
because he's too young for that, but showing signs that he's now old.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of the theme that I'm gonna get from the rest of the series, is like Lupin's now in this new age, even though he can keep up with it. It's kind of like getting to the point where there's like kind of this subconscious commentary about stuff happening going on with like Lupin's place in the world. I mean, he's never gonna get tired of stealing. I like practicing on being a thief. But I don't know, very interesting to see where it goes. There's a lot of things available, a lot of options, a lot of paths to go down. But let's stick with our prediction. Let's say something big's gonna happen if it doesn't end. Something that could end it or make it more ambiguous. But that's my big and bold prediction. You heard it here first, folks. Lupin ends technically next season, right? Is it a continuous core or like a
Yeah, it should be one continuous course. It's 24.
summer?
So after summer, end of summer. Okay. I still think it's gonna keep going. So that's just how we're thinking. Shokugeki 3. Yeah, we're getting into the core of Hayama versus Soma for the most part. But we also are hinting towards Rindo versus Aldini and Totoko. If we ever do get to see that whole thing go down, because we're it's still Shokugeki no Soma. We're still following Soma. Their topic was bear meat.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to try it now that they bring it up? Like, would we ever have if we ever had the chance to try bear meat?
Apparently, people like bear. I mean, they mentioned it in Golden Kamuy as well.
Yeah,
it's like if it's fresh, if you handle it well. I mean, it just kind of goes with like all gaming meat. If you ever had a gaming meat before, you kind of get that flavor from it. There are ways to deal with it, and there are ways to like eat it differently or separate it, so that they mentioned it in the show as well. You can balance it off with different flavors and spices, or kind of like boil it just to get rid of the gaminess. Depends how you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
But usually, like all things in real life, when you experience it from anime for yourself, it's just okay. I always see stuff. I'm like, I really want to try this or that, or you hear like exotic meats and everything like that. It's like, it's like chicken. So bear meat is gonna be like, it's different. It's not bad. It's not good. It's okay.
I mean, I would just like to have the experience of trying it.
Yeah.
Like, I think
for all the exotic foods, it's always just gonna be like just for the sake of trying it. At least you can say you tried it. But it's Like, I mean, I went to Philippines and had crocodile once. She's like, hey, you want some crocodile? I was like, sure, I'll eat some crocodile. I'm like, yeah, so it's alright. Yeah, should we? That's gonna be the vast majority of it, unless you're like a super gourmet chef. But if you're a super gourmet chef, you want to use the fattiest ingredients anyway. It's my opinion. It's like you can, unless that exotic ingredient happens to be fatty. You know, we're looking at the science of food at this point. I mean, I can go over culinary science for a while. That's not the purpose of this. I mean, who doesn't love food here? You know, we're all Tinder profiles around here. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going on. Like, you know, what's going on in June. You know,
Yeah,
Hayama, how's up with this guy? New Sasuke? What's going on?
We always have to ask, like, he said that he did it because of June. Like, so what exactly
Happened.
are we? Yeah, what
What's
happened?
going
We know
on?
that the group was shut down and they lost all their funding from, the last episode.
Mhm.
But where is June? They said, like, oh, she'll be a part of your team, whatever. But we never get to see her.
That's a great question. I don't know where she is.
Yeah, we didn't. None of us know where she is.
Actually, like, the thing is, like, I'm trying not to spoil stuff because I read the manga.
Oh, yeah.
I'm caught up. It's actually, during that part, I actually don't know where she is.
Yeah.
And I don't think they mention where she is.
Yeah.
But it's also implied that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, for the most part, it doesn't
Like, it's
matter.
not
We
like
just know that
she's in
he's.
hostage or
Yeah.
anything. Like, they're not evil. Like, they'd be arrested for that.
We
But
just
she's
know that.
somewhere else right now.
Yeah, she's somewhere else, and
Although I do think it matters. You could, yeah, it's not a spoiler to say that she's not there, right? Like, they don't show her at all during the episode, and it begs the question, why is she not there? And we can take out the assumption that she's not under hostage, because then he'd be like, he wouldn't be participating
Yeah.
or anything. I mean, that's just like, that's not how the show works. I mean, they're ridiculous. They're not like criminals. I think that's Azami's thing. It's like he never does anything illegal.
Yeah.
So that's one thing to think about. It's like, not where is she per se. It doesn't really matter where she is. It just matters why she isn't there. I think when you start thinking about that, you'll get some insight into Hayama. So yeah, I mean, we don't know what's in this dish yet.
We don't know what it is. We just know that there's Cajun spices in it, and it has
Is there bear meat or
It's bear meat.
So I mean, well, Hayama. Actually, forgot what he made during this episode.
More
but,
curry.
I mean,
good.
he's a curry master.
I mean,
You're
yeah.
not gonna make curry, or what's he
No,
gonna
no.
do with the bear meat?
Yeah.
I mean, did he level up? Did we get anything new from him? What's he gonna do? Show me them spices, boy. Spicy boy. Spicy memes.
Darling in the front.
Darling Franks, guys.
All right.
First off, latest episode, best episode of the season so far by far. Not the whole season. I mean, like of the Darling in the Franks season.
Of what do you mean? Just season
Like the whole 22 or whatever.
the
it's
whole
gonna be.
20.
Of course. Right now, it's my favorite episode of it. Oddly enough,
I liked
because-
episode 14. Let's
know,
start
'cause,
the
like,
flame war.
Here's
No.
the thing: people are gonna talk about episode 15
Mhm.
because it's action. You got big moments. You got credits. You got the opening music playing in the scene. All the classic things to make everything a great episode.
Mhm.
But it's action, and it's all right. I mean, it's not all right. It's great. It's hype. Trust me. I mean, you definitely feel it. That's what A1 Trigger are good at. But the latest episode was just as filled with action, but in a different sense. And the reason I like it so much in the context of this show is because the show kind of depended on action to fuel most of its plot and story. But now we get to actually see deeper relationships, the complex relationships between all the characters that we've never seen before. And the way they do it, they handle it, is like they kind of address all the weaknesses that they had during the first part of the season. It's like they're really weak at developing kind of like character relationships. Actions are questionable. We got logic issues. We got this and that of just why, but like in a disgusting way. It's like why do you make this choice or this or that. But the latest episode, everyone now is more relatable, more human. You get real reactions between everyone. That's like like everyone at this point is redeemed, I want to say, and that's what makes it a super. What was it? I mean, not just like pleasant to watch because it's like a relaxing episode on the outside. It's actually like the entire episode. I was more anxious throughout the entire episode than all the other episodes as well, because when something's going good in an anime like this, it's like, oh, I'm just waiting for someone to get fucked.
Yeah.
Like right now, like any moment.
That's exactly what I was about to say in terms of this episode 16, being the aftermath of episode 15. We know that, like, oh, yeah, they got the Grand Crevice, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's in it.
Yeah, I
well,
mean,
kind of.
they still have to address, future action and why. I mean, we can guess why they're cast away or, like, ignored by Papa and the government, whatever they call the council. At the moment, it's because, or the scientist guy wants to do, like, a experiment on, I guess, whether humanity can persevere without their guidance. That's what I want to say. Or he wants to do a social experiment, which makes sense. They're setting up, like, a Lord of the Flies kind of situation right now.
Yeah.
Well, works out.
Well, my biggest question for that, once again, it's the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
We know that, the storm just happened, being episode 15.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're leading into an aftermath chill
in the
episode
eye
on
of the
episode 16.
hurricane right now.
So, and we also know that, so far Papa's been cutting him off. Do you think that, for me, do you think that they are just, like, completely done with Squad 13?
No,
Do you think that
they're way too
not-
valuable?
well, like, they may be valuable enough, but they also took away their caretakers as well, like the people who, the two people who, like, watch over them. They're there to watch over themselves at this point. So are they just?
It's like, where are the caretakers? They're still in that area. I mean, they're like,
they're not
yeah.
physically there.
Well, I mean, they're not in the that dome, but they're in the place where they always meet up to do to go into their what is it, Strelitzia, and their, I was gonna say they're Gundams. They're Franks. Yeah, it's in the title.
Yeah, but they're.
Aren't they there? They have their control room that always.
They may be in the control room, but they're not taking care of the pilots who are going to be piloting them. So, like, what's the point?
Well, I think it's on purpose, right?
Why would that be on purpose? Why would you only care about the machinery if you don't have the pilots to use it?
Well, like I said, it's like the scientist is doing an experiment.
Yeah, but on the most valuable Franks pilots that you have.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you just put on 26 or something like that? Like, the group of people who they don't give a crap about.
Well, the
like,
experiment can only work on this specific group of people.
is it just because, like, this is a special group where they can just
they're a special
exercise
group because of how they interact with each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and that's why they chose to do experiment on them, because they're the one they can get reliable results from. If you were to make like a random group like 26 or like some average group, let's say they're all good at combat, but they're all mundane robots who don't have minds for themselves because they've been raised since childhood to be like robots. It's like you won't get anything out of them just from casting them aside and seeing how they react. It's like they don't have any relationships with each other. They're just very combat focused. They'll be wondering what to do. I mean, it could be an interesting result or experiment by itself, but they'll probably just go mad because, they weren't ever given what was it? I'd say the gift of curiosity. It's probably one way to put it. Hiro kind of sparks that in everyone. You see that at the end of the episode as well, where he's like, yeah, I kind of like this new life. It's be great. Setting up flags for it to be destroyed. It's a different story though, but they're definitely the only group that this experiment would be worth doing on, and that's why the scientist wants to do it. It's just why he wants to do an experiment of that type in the first part is my big question. It's like, right now you're setting up a scenario where you're assuming that there's no higher guidance or adult authority for like these group of kids to survive. So is he trying to see how they survive if like everyone else dies? And are they thinking of like an Adam and Eve situation where we rebirth humanity after destroying everyone else and leave these guys? Or is it like, if we leave them without guidance, how will they develop with each other? Does the scientist have a strong psychological understanding of how bonds work? It's like, maybe this group will get stronger if we take ourselves out of the equation and let them, foster their own relationships with each other at this point because we can't force them to talk to each other. That's probably the main reason why I did it. I want to say, if you look at it from like a business perspective or like a scientific perspective.
And if you look at it from a business perspective, from my point of view, it would be like we take care of the city first, and then because all the pilots are expendable. If I were from the business half, it's like protect the adults, protect the city, because that's what we've built everything off of. But we can replace any group of kids because we still have we have a ton of backup because they can easily just make another squadron. We saw that earlier when it came down to the number of kids. Like they had a previous squad 13 and they locked off all of their rooms, so we know that there was a squad before them. So does that mean that pilots themselves are expendable and they understand that every single time you go out you're gonna die?
Expendable.
Yeah, exactly.
Except
So
these pilots.
the real question is Papa just leaving them to essentially die to take care of the main, like himself, essentially?
It's weird. I don't think he's leaving them to die.
Or once again, I think from your perspective, if you wanted to go from the scientific half, where it's just like, we'll just leave him be. We'll see what happens. Which is exactly what I want to get into next. If you want to discuss Mitsuru's haircut and that whole scenario, that whole scene right there.
That whole chestnut, that ding dong.
That's something. That's something else right there. Honestly, Mitsuru getting a haircut. I honestly, if I wanted to go into, professor literature stuff like that, it's literally a form change. It's him, like becoming different. He looks completely different. He doesn't look like a freaking emo little fucking bastard who should have died with 02. Do we think that this is enough for us to care about it? But we also have to talk about Kokoro and her. She's thirsty. She is thirsty. And then on top of that, what's the fat kid's name?
Yikes! Fat shaming in 2000.
I mean, let's be honest. Like he's only main character.
He's big.
But he's going he said, I'm dieting. He's trying to change himself to cater to Kokoro, kind of. Or is he just whatever? But
I think it's both. It's like he wants to become healthier because it could also just be a reaction from, not really for Kokoro because he's flat out rejected. I think he's pretty aware of that at this point. But he might be just doing it kind of just like out of depression or something. Might be a character to look into later on, his reactions to other people.
Well, like him and Ikuno are still, troubled children. But
well, Ikuno, she's gotten better, a lot better.
Like
she's pretty chill now.
Yeah, she's chill, but
psychologically,
yeah,
like her problems have been mostly dealt with. It's just that
she's just very bland. Well, the only she doesn't have much depth, honestly. In my opinion, she's just like the emo character who just sits in the deepest
characters of the team.
Okay.
I think it's just you have to look deeper into it. Obviously, it's
well,
just
then,
that she doesn't show everything. She's probably one of the most stable characters.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Season or the entire team, and she has like this level of complexity, that she gets from liking Ichigo, and trying to hide it at the same time, and all her stuff with Mitsuru, but. I don't know, it makes it fascinating for her character because she's almost like an unspoken leader in a way. In that case, she's kind of like the bed that people rely on unintentionally at some points. Just because sometimes you need someone who, just keeps a calm head. I mean, she's not exactly super talented. She's not gifted like the higher numbers. But she's definitely still a force to be reckoned with. I think it's her decision making and her strategy that contributes a lot to the team. That comes from being very intellectually minded. I want to say she's also one of the smarter members.
I have to agree that she is one of the smarter members out of all that. But honestly, would it be better if Ikuno were the leader instead of Ichigo? That's my question to you now. Would you rather have Ikuno as the helm?
Definitely.
At this point, because we know what happened at episode 14, and how everybody flipped their shit over Ichigo.
The reason they didn't make her leader is she doesn't have. I don't think she's interested in it.
Well,
that's what I want to say.
But she's smart enough for it. So why would?
It's like you can be smart enough for it, but if you can't, sorry, G. if you can't, you know, excite people, or not excite, if you can't lead, if you're not enthusiastic enough to bring together or bolster your team through like psychological, you know, whatever the word is, you know, just making them feel a little better about raising enthusiasm, raising morale. If you can't do that, she probably is not good. She's honest. That's one of her weaknesses, and her strengths, is that she, you know, she can roast Mitsuru, but not because she's trying to be a jerk. You know, it's just because, you know, he needs to wake up from it. That's kind of like one of the main reasons Mitsuru started his ongoing change towards Kokoro. She's also very accepting. She's like, it makes you wonder like what kind of past she has compared to the other members, because most of them still pretty much act like kids, except Ikuno and Goro. I mean, but
Goro's a
he's
Goro.
cool though. He's like he's not. It's not necessarily not a kid. He's not necessarily mature either. Actually, he still has aspects where, you know, he's still a guy, but he just has more of that nice guy, you know, thing that you develop from who he used to be. Because, you know, he used to be like super rowdy and super aggressive as a kid, but now usually it tends to happen in characters like that where they develop into more serious, they reflect on their past, like, yeah, I don't want to be that. Everyone always wants to dissociate with themselves with whatever they didn't like about themselves in the past. So, in that case, Ikuno was probably really interesting as a kid as well. Definitely a lot of complexity to look into there, and they'll probably reveal it in the second half of this season. That's what I'm thinking. So I definitely don't think she's bland in any way, or, you know.
Well, then we just need a whole episode on her.
Yeah,
honestly.
She hasn't had an episode on her yet. Like Zerome, like you say, hates Zerome, right? Especially at the start.
I thought he was just like, you know, a regular protagonist spoiler character. I thought he was gonna be like the Draco Malfoy to, you know, Hero to Harry Potter. It's pretty much just showing how much better Hero is compared to other people in his squad, which is, you know, this is exactly how Darling in the Franxx, I honestly think, is built. It's built to show how important Hero is compared to everybody else in his crew. Like, yes, they may be, you know, they might have their place on the squad, but the whole purpose is to show how important Hero is. And same thing with all the girls. All the girls are meant to make 02 look good. Important, yes. Not good. Important. That's a better way to word it. Yeah.
But they do make it look good at this point.
Yeah.
I want to say there's a lot of focus on making her look better, almost eerily so.
Yeah.
They kind of set her up to fail with the story.
Exactly.
But we don't see it happen yet. I want to see.
Do you think episode 14 salvaged episode 15, or episode 15 salvaged episode 14?
I mean, I don't think episode 14 was bad to begin with.
That's what I'm about to say the same thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of us agree. I think most people who watched it also agree.
But lots of people were so pissed off about episode 14. But I honestly think it's just because...
It's normal.
Yeah, it's normal. People don't understand, like, you know, when you were a teenager, you were going through impulses and, like, you know, stuff like that. And that's just how Ichigo is acting upon. It's not necessarily for the best of her team. It's for, you know, her personal gain. As a teenager, you know, hormones are all over the place and all that other stuff. That's something that we all have to accept. Like, all these are teenagers. You're putting teenagers in robots again.
You know, it's like The Crucible. I mean, I hated The Crucible. I still hate it. I think it's one of the worst books ever written. But I think that's the purpose of the book, is to hate it.
Okay.
Right? I mean, no, because you have a situation where everyone is dumb because they have mob mentality and they turn on someone. And the point of the book is to show how disgusting humanity is when you've succumbed to mob mentality. So it's like, oh, you have this really gross facet of, like, society. And it's just a bad ending. Well, not bad ending. It's just like you know, an ending that you don't typically like, right? Mm-hmm. And so the book sets itself to be like, wow, I hate these characters. I hate how they lie. I hate these people. You know, I hate the story. I hate how it ends. And you hate the book because of that. But it's not a bad book. It's written well. It's paced well. You know, it does everything a book should do well, technically. But you hate it.
Yeah,
and
well,
that's kind of the point of episode 14.
Yeah.
So Ichigo does everything understandable from her perspective and from our perspective, and reasonable from, like, a logical perspective as well, even if it's for her personal gain. You know, she kind of just couplets it with her decision to, remove 02 for safety purposes as well, because it makes sense. So she's just using that as fodder to kind of fuel her rageful decision to remove her from the team. It makes sense. And
She's
it's like
just
we can't blame her.
Yeah, we honestly couldn't blame her on that whole thing. In terms of like what she was doing for the team, I felt like that was important. Like she did what she needed to do to make that work.
Yeah, people want to say that they can do better, and they want to think that as well, and then they kind of project themselves onto Ichigo as a character. Like, hey, if I were her, man, I'll do this differently. She's being dumb. And reality is you're in the same situation, and like in post-apocalyptic world is like some teen who has no proper upbringing. You're gonna do the same thing. I think that's all correct in that aspect.
Yeah, that's one thing that I want to say specifically.
Everyone arguing about it, it's like they're like 15 years old.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who are pissed off, like including people who I know personally. Like I thought every action that Ichigo did was correct, as it was morally justified by her, and
I think they're
everything
pissed off
was
for the wrong reason.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay to be pissed off. I was mad, but it's like you're supposed to be mad.
You're supposed to be mad because you don't know what repercussions it's gonna have.
Well, you're also mad because, it's a dumb decision.
Yeah.
And it's like emotionally fueled.
Yeah.
But it's not like she's doing that because she wants to per se. I mean, she doesn't want to be emotionally fueled. No one does.
Yeah.
But it's like people get mad because they're watching someone go through something where they wish they could say something to change it.
Yeah.
But they can't because you're watching.
You're watching it.
They're doing it.
They're not gonna.
So it's
not a Twitch chat where we only have one person watching.
I think lots of shows do that. I
Exactly.
always get mad at that. We have this conversation with anyone who wants to think that way all the time.
And then episode 15 was all about the reunion of Hero and 02. Everybody.
Yeah, a little cheesy.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was cheesy, but
cheesy.
It did what it needed to do. It was like, okay, yeah, we separated the two. They're gonna get back together. It's gonna happen. Like,
they had a great action scene.
Yeah.
They definitely an episode for the books. Hero's gonna.
It's like
reference
episode 15, episode 6. The beach episode. No.
6. What the hell happened on 6?
6 was when they got beaten into the wall with that one Collaxor who just... the one with the blue shit came back into Hero, and he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna Godspeed and destroy
this. And then they
this.
that flappy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comparing it to episode 15 makes it look bad.
What, episode 15 looks bad?
No.
Or episode 6. Yeah.
It makes it look, not bad, but, just like weak.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
I mean, and you have that, and then you have episode 9, Triangle Bomb, the one where Goro was...
That one, I remember, just for the memes, though.
Well, I mean, that was a Kudasai skit.
It's like that's like more like the Goro moment rather than an episode, It's like, I remember this Goro moment.
Yeah.
I remember everything Goro did for some reason.
Yeah, well, just because Goro's a good character.
No. Yeah, dude, Goro MVP, make sure vote him. Best guy.
Yeah, if there is a best boy for...
I really can't think of a better boy right now. I mean, not Hero.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Hero cannot... Well, what if it came down to, best hero? Because they're going to do that again this year. You know it. They're going to put Deku. They're going to put Hero. Todoroki.
Deku's growing on me. At first, he was just super standard. Now that he's ripped, it's like... I'm like,
I can't argue with them muscles.
I mean, next to Mr. Muscular, he doesn't look that bad, though. Dude. I mean, the guy's ripped, but he's just huge.
Yeah.
Deku's ripped, but he's like... He's pretty ripped for his size. I mean, dude's stacked. And then... Todoroki, Bakugo, those guys are kind of old news now. They used to be super cool.
Yeah.
Deku's moved up past them at this point in terms of male leads.
Yeah.
We don't know if we have any other... I mean, Megalobox, Joe, and he's okay.
Yeah,
he's
not
pretty standard, gritty boxing character.
Yeah.
He doesn't make you want to go like, man, I love that guy. But I don't think that's the point of him, So that's why we can't vote him for that. We have Tadakun. Classic.
I don't say Tada.
He's not super strong as a character. Well, I mean, he's a strong character, but it's not like
best supporting character
likable.
though. That's kind of what we're aiming for because we're talking about Goro in particular.
You think Ijuman? his friend, Taikon's friend. They actually, they redeemed him in the
In
recent
the last,
episode.
yeah.
And depending on where it goes from there, you could be up there for a supporting character. But I don't see him contending with Goro.
Yeah.
Dude was wingman of the year.
Yeah. And then, once again, we believe Squad 13 has been cast aside. They're hunting for their own food. I honestly I don't want it to go this way, but it's a possibility because it's owned by Trigger. They can go the Gurren Lagann route and say, fuck society, since they're not taking care of us, we'll take care of ourselves, we'll expand our own way, we'll explore the surface ground, where Calaxos are from, why can't we go outside of the dome, why can't we go into the city, all that stuff. They can do that, but I doubt that they're going to.
Yeah. I seriously doubt. Because
I highly
they're
doubt it,
keeping
too.
tabs on them. But
Yeah.
they're giving them limited rations on purpose.
Yeah. And then at the very end of the latest episode, there's a 0-2 in the Calaxor pit.
Hmm?
There's like a second 0-2.
I think they're actually technically more 0-2s.
Yeah,
I would
but
say that foreshadows. Well, you have the first squad that 0-2 used to be part of. Like, they
Well,
definitely
yeah,
have
the Nine
those
Leotas.
same blood,
yeah,
like, mixed with them.
yeah, but you saw that final scene. It was like
Yeah.
panning down into the Grand Crevice,
Mm-hmm.
showing
The other one.
yeah,
yeah.
the other one. So
I just think there's a lot of them, maybe at this point.
yeah, but why would 0-2 be with us then if they have those people down there already? Like, do you think that we literally went down there, kidnapped one, and then brought it to our lab, experimented the shit out of it, and then was like, oh, we can make a thing out of this, and then they did.
All of them could be kidnapped from a weird mix of Klaxosaurs and humans.
Yeah.
That's not to say that
Well-
there's a whole society of them that they've stolen from.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe those are the ones in charge of the Klaxosaurs.
that's what I'm saying now. Like, are the Calaxosaurs only after 0-2 and the core, rather than for, like, why are we fighting against it? If they only want
destroying the
certain thing?
plantations, so.
Yeah, that's just because they have the core mineral that they want.
Hmm.
So, like, why do humans need the core? Like, why have we essentially surrounded ourselves with trying to get this one finite, like, resource?
You mean oil?
Well, we don't need oil to survive. We built our society around it.
Modern society 101. We don't need electricity,
But yeah,
but it's nice to have.
yeah,
We don't need oil. We should have cleaner energy. But hey, we're greedy. We want to fuck over future generations.
yeah,
That's what led to the state that Darlene DeFranks is in now. It's just a different resource instead of nuclear power. It's gonna result in. That's how finite resources work on a planet.
yeah.
You're eventually just gonna go through a cycle of using them up, dying.
Just like anime.
Rebuilding.
Anime is a finite resource that will never.
Yeah, I could use anime to power my car.
Never mind. It was a bad shit post.
Uh,
You get it. All right, we'll move on.
We're too advanced, dude.
Yep. All right.
Speaking of shitposts.
Yeah. Welcome to Marvel Avengers. Infinity Wars. We're touching on it. Deal with it. Yeah, we're here for the memes because the memes are things. So who we know for sure are dead? We have Loki, Heimdall.
At the moment, I want to point this
no,
out.
no, no, like legit dead. Gamora,
No, at the moment.
Loki, Vision, and Heimdall. They're.
At the moment.
How would you? You can time stone bring them back, but that's just kind of a dick move, and will make me feel like, why did I waste 2.5 hours watching a freaking Avengers movie if all you're gonna do is turn it back? Like, there's no point. Like, if they do that, I swear to God, I'm not gonna watch another Marvel film. Like, that's it.
Alright, guys, welcome to Spoiler Sunday.
You can't just say like,
If you
oh.
haven't read the Marvel comics.
It's like if you're just gonna time skip yourself back and you'll fix everything, why make a first movie? What? Like it's a waste of time. And then we have the people who faded. The people who.
I think it's the full people in the thing that they die.
Vision literally got the thing that keeps him alive ripped out of his head.
Yeah. I mean,
Gamora got traded for a Soul Stone.
I mean, we have to think about what happens
Like-
here. Are they just gonna continue like this for the rest of the MCU? It's like Thanos wins, everyone dies, you know, blah blah blah. You know, Gauntlet stays on him, nothing happens. World's
I
like
mean,
this
it
for the
was
rest of
it
time.
was fucked after that
Yeah.
snap.
But I mean, you know,
Like,
no one's gonna end it like that. No one likes that kind of story. You can end it like that, but no one's gonna be satisfied. And you know, people are gonna come up with endings one way or another. It's like we all know it builds up because of classic storytelling. It builds up to Thanos losing at some point. So when we can assume that, we assume they get the gauntlet back and the stones back. We assuming with the Soul Stone back, Gamora would probably be revived.
well, I mean, I feel like. Well, no, this is just my theory, but yeah, go ahead.
But I want to say that the Time Stone, yeah, they're definitely gonna do the Time Stone rewind. I mean, I haven't confirmed it in the I only know the very broad synopsis of Infinity War from the comics, but they're definitely using the Time Stone to go back because you can actually guess this just from watching the first movie. Like this is assuming that I don't know the outcome of Infinity War. Doctor Strange, before the battle starts, he says there's only one future where we win the battle, and then you know you have to remember that, take that into account. Then you get to the end where it's him talking to Tony, his last line to Tony, where it's like, sorry, this was the only way, which means they're currently following the only timeline where they win, which means if they win, you know, I mean, it could be, that can be interpreted, you know, two ways, which is why I think they did that on purpose. Either they interpret it by saying, hey, you know, we have to do it this way because, you know, we're bringing them back later, you know, I know it's like seeing them die, and explains why, you know, I mean, Tony was sad and everything, but he's like, he kind of knows what's going on, so it wasn't like, oh, we lost, blah, 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 it's over. But, you could also be like, oh yeah, they die permanently, and then, you know, you still beat Thanos anyway. But, there's a good chance that with the Time Stone back, things would shift.
That's the thing, though. Are they gonna get it back?
Because there's so many characters here. I mean, well, they're definitely getting the Time Stones back. That's just how beating Thanos works. You know, and the Gauntlet is taken back. You can't destroy the Time Stones without another Time Stone. Well, technically. You
Well,
can,
Scarlet Witch destroyed the.
yeah, but she
the
can't
Mind
destroy
Stone.
all the Time Stones.
Well, that's the thing that I'm not 100% on. If, you know, Thanos had the glove, you know, and he destroyed technically the hardware that was able to house it.
I think if he destroyed it right now, that'd be the reasonable thing.
No,
to
well,
destroy.
he did. Like, during that shockwave, like, his whole gauntlet was, like, fried completely. Like, he couldn't do much after that. He did zip away using the Space Stone to go, you know, have that post-credit scene, which we all saw.
I don't think the Gauntlet was damaged.
It.
I didn't see it damaged. I mean,
I'm gonna pull it up. I'm
It'd
pretty
be
sure.
fine,
It was,
it could
I'm
be
pretty
damaged,
sure it was
but,
damaged.
It doesn't explain how he was able to use, you know, basically, well, even if the gauntlet was damaged, if the gauntlet was damaged to the point where he couldn't control the stones, it would have caused disaster that would have destroyed everyone in that radius. Like, we're talking about suddenly releasing the power current of like 6 Infinity Stones in one area. Like, it's not even conceivable how many like metric tons of like explosive damage that would do.
Just because they're not harnessed doesn't mean that they're gonna do damage. I'm just saying, like,
Well,
the
they're all in
hardware.
the same area. It's like just the radiation from that, you know. You see that in Guardians of the Galaxy, where just even touching a stone would, you know, fuck you up.
Well, they had that one scene near the end that I picked up on, at least. Let's see if we can find it. We'll discuss that. Hopefully, we'll go into that. Never mind, I can't find a picture of it. I'm just too lazy.
And if we're talking about comic spoilers at this point,
Well, we know comic spoilers, but we're not going to go into that because we don't know if the MCU is actually going to follow that. Which
I mean,
they
no, I
reference to it,
the
but I
MCU
doubt that
is
they're going to do it.
not going to fall. It's going to follow the very main point of Infinity War, which I'm not going to say just for your sake.
Which the sacrifice, the whole thing of what does it cost in order to.
No, it's
achieve
like the
wins.
end result is still going to be the same, inevitably. It's a very big end result, but I can't say that.
Is it the one where the two people take the gauntlet, and reverse time by having a certain deal merger. Not that one.
No.
I mean, they hint towards it during the end of Guardians 2.
Or what?
The what I like to call Marvel Jesus comes out
Oh.
and you know
Shit, what's
fixes
it?
everything. But I don't know if they're gonna go that route.
Oh, if you want to go into like super deep Marvel extended universe for like the beings who are responsible for maintaining the soul stones
No,
for
no,
the
no.
Infinity Stones,
No, I'm talking about
like that person's one of them. You
The-
mean like Marvel Jesus?
Marvel Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think Marvel Jesus is gonna come out?
No. Well, they don't come out for
Well, the only thing is that
the
about
comic either.
he does. He at the very end of the original one, him and daughter number 2 do it. They strip him of the gauntlet and make it happen. But we don't know if first of all, if we're ever gonna get Marvel Jesus.
But
But
who's Marvel Jesus? What's the name of this Marvel Jesus? Are we confusing?
are you talking Adam Warlock?
Is he gonna? I mean,
He was referenced to at the end of Guardians 2.
oh man, I don't remember it all. Oh, was he? Wait, what?
He was in the cradle.
Wait, you talking about the duck?
No, that's Howard the Duck. No. That's Guardians 1.
Okay, yeah.
We're
I was
talking
like,
Guardians 2. There's a coffin
Kratos?
looking like in gold, in solid
wait.
gold.
Yeah, I was like,
And they said, "Oh, I will name him Adam." So,
I don't remember this at all.
okay, well, it's at the end of Guardians 2.
Yeah.
But that's specifically what I'm referencing to. Like they do have an ending where that is stripped and that makes everything happen. The one that I want to see though, I honestly don't want time travel backwards, which I think it's just a big fuck you in terms of plot points. Like just saying like
Well, then I'll assume that like half the population still dies. That can't happen.
what if instead of using the time stone use the reality stone? And instead this is hypothetical theory. You can use the reality stone to jump to a different reality where the other half of the Avengers were wiped off. So instead of Panther, Spider-Man, all those guys getting wiped, it was Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, and all those guys got wiped off, and they left the other people alive. Okay, what if they use the reality stone to merge the two together, get the other two back, so they have the full squad again?
Another half of humanity.
No, well, they only have the other half of, whoever faded, and they use that to defeat Thanos, and then attempt to reuse, reverse time and make that happen. But I just feel like if they just snuck in, stole the time stone, reversed everything back, fought him again.
I mean,
like it would
the
be,
main argument here is like you feel like it's too easy, right?
I feel like
But
it's a big fuck you in terms of like
I
story.
mean, you could say the same thing about Thanos as well. It's like he gets a time stone, he snaps, boom, everyone fades away. That's pretty easy. So it's like, why not counter something easy with something easy? You know what I mean? It's like, sure, we like to get something more dynamic out of that. It's like, oh yeah, it shouldn't be that simple to fix all this. But in reality, I mean, it's basically reversing an effect with the same effect.
It's wiping everybody with the power of the 6 things that made, the universe. So how can I explain this? I feel like
I mean, you have the power to will it because you have the 6 stones.
yeah.
So you can also have the power to will it back.
So you have to have somebody who's equally as strong as Thanos to
So you
wheel
could
it
say
to
maybe, okay, let's
reverse
say
it.
it's not time travel. We'll just say everyone comes back just because of the gauntlet then.
How?
Okay, not time travel.
Like you can't re-summon people with that. Like
why not?
they didn't go over that as
And if they died, then you'd use the reality stone to just assume that, these people, whoever existed, they should just come back. Basically, I mean, then they're assuming that, since he has all of those on the gauntlet, like Thanos could have easily destroyed like everything. I think with that gauntlet, but the good thing about him, I think, what I like about him as a villain, he only did with his gauntlet what he needed or what he wanted to do, which was take out half of like all beings like in the universe with a snap of finger, and then he stopped there. I think that's one of the redeeming things about him as a villain. So it's like But you definitely, it doesn't mean that you can't do more. So like you could kill everyone. You could
Mhm.
remove like universe, basically. It basically lets you do anything. It's like a cheat code. Yeah, gauntlet. So you put that on. You're just like, hey, you know, whether or not we time travel or not, doesn't matter. We could just will everyone back. Also, you know, I mean, you can go different ways with that. Basically, you're just solving that problem with like a snap of a finger, basically, which was everyone dying. So everyone would come back. But I want to say that what redeems it by seeming easy is that it's the actual end result. I don't know. You want to just like mention it or
What?
like the ending of Infinity War arc?
From what you know,
Yeah.
go for it.
All right. So what redeems like the easy thing here is that basically a select number of people definitely die, but you still do end up reviving like everyone else. It's just that there will be people that are permanently removed, just a significantly less amount than what just happened in the movie.
Yeah.
So, in that case, how the MCU has it is that I forgot the side characters, but the number one character that dies is
I have the whole chart there. That's everybody who faded and everybody who's left. Over there.
yeah. No, I mean like in the MCU. I forgot.
Oh,
who-
like the
who
actual full.
permanently
Okay.
dies. But the only person that's a big deal that permanently dies in the MCU is Captain America, which is like
Well, because that has to lead into the other two.
other two what?
Well, Bucky and Falcon.
Oh yeah, and they take over as
Yeah.
Captain America. So as the new Avengers, basically, and then they have that whole
Yeah.
modern art that we're into now in the comics. But yeah, in this case, if it's just Captain and like other people,
I think
everyone else
Tony should.
lives.
Well,
Tony lives.
well, I know he lives, but like retires from that, from the Avengers.
Sort of. He kind of goes into this thing because like Captain dies, so he's like,
Yeah.
oh, what I did was wrong, I guess. Blah blah blah. He kind of has like a existential
Yeah.
thingy. But and then he kind of goes into the backlands. You have all these new heroes come in, new Avengers, Touchables, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But basically, I mean, do you think that redeems it? Is like you bring everyone, like the other half of the world's back. That's the saving the world part. That has to happen. Like you have to bring the other half of like the normal population back because they shouldn't die. And yeah, like Rurutu says, Tony retired doesn't mean much. I think he still has a big part in MCU. I'm
Yeah.
actually not confident about what happens after Infinity War in that case, but it's just like, yeah, he still builds armor, he still provides everything in the backlands. Kind of like all those other characters from the past who are like Tony's dad would have,
Mm-hmm.
or all these old like Wakanda. Or it's like we'll help you out, guys, whatever. But he won't be at the forefront of like the comics. Yeah, in this case, I feel like that redeems it. It's like you lose at least some of the favorite characters that we have. Like it's a big blow to Avengers still. So in that case, they do revert stuff. I don't know if it's through the time stone or through like using all the stones, but it just ends with basically Captain America dying.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if they. Well, from the business standpoint, we know that Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans will.
Contracts end.
Their contracts end after the next movie.
Yeah.
So
If they both die, yeah. I mean, if they both die, it'd be nice. It just wouldn't make sense for both of them to die.
yeah. Well,
because-
then again, I was also looking at once again numbers. I come
Mhm.
from movies and all that other stuff. I have to say with Robert Downey Jr. in a film, they make $200 million more total because more people are buying it. So that's just how it is. Yes, they could definitely sign more. I highly
I just think
I think that they can do it.
It's also like they publicly mentioned they don't want to.
Yeah.
They're pretty done. They
Yeah.
have their actors. They want other things to do in their career. It's been like what 8 years,
Something
10
like that.
years,
Yeah.
where they've been doing Marvel movies, and it's like, yeah, I mean personally me, I mean I love it, but it's like you can't do like if you're in Star Wars, you can't do Star Wars forever.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings. It was like yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
stop
same.
doing Lord of the Rings. It's big franchises that get big. You just wanna take a break, do something new with your life.
Exactly.
And for them, this is the perfect spot to do it. Chris Evans, like he definitely dies. Like I'm pretty sure he dies at the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Thor is wants to do more movies, and like I mean it was a fun movie. Like the
Ragnarok.
Yeah, and so I definitely want to see more of that. Maybe not Thor related. just fucking around.
Bring
I do
in
like superhero movies, but
what's his name?
just different superheroes.
Yeah.
New franchise.
Well, I mean, we have Untouchables coming.
Mm-hmm.
We have Captain Marvel, and then
Iron Man,
Ant-Man and
yeah.
Wasp. Like those are all coming.
You know, Ant-Man and Wasp, I feel like, everyone's, like, we already know the first Ant-Man. We went into it, like, no expectations.
yes,
but,
I'm down with that too.
Yeah. New Thor, Captain Marvel?
Yeah,
coming.
well, Captain Marvel's coming as a movie.
I
before
forgot
we get-
did they confirm who's the actress?
We don't know if they're gonna go from. I thought they have Captain Marvel as a TV series already. I don't know if they're gonna do.
I don't care about TV series at all.
Yeah,
I
neither
watch
do I.
it.
But
I always watch
I heard that they already have an actress picked. I don't know who it is, but they could. Yeah, I'll check it later. But yeah, let's talk about who's left. We have the original Avengers,
Mhm.
War Machine, Nebula, Rocket Raccoon, Okoye, Shuri, M'Baku, and Wong. Technically, we don't know where Wong is, if Wong is still alive. But yeah, everybody else is pretty much confirmed to still be there. And then the other question is it Peter's fault to fucking?
Here's the thing. I feel like they manipulated Peter because they knew he would act like that. I mean, use a time stone to see the future. That's like...
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying with Strange too. Is all.
Yeah,
like,
they wouldn't have accounted for... I mean, they would have accounted for
what he's gonna do.
They saw the event happen. He watched the event happen. It was like, oh, Cole's gonna do this. Let's use that to our advantage.
Yeah.
I guess. And then, Lucy. So it's like... I mean, I still think it was like an Ichigo. Honestly.
You wanna go on?
That was a totally Ichigo move. Right
exactly.
There. But it's like understandable at the same time. Because, it's an Ichigo move. Understandable, I still hate it.
Exactly. But yeah, that'll wrap it up, I guess. Like, are we done discussing Infinity Wars, or do we still want to keep going down this whole?
I mean, we'll let it happen. We'll watch the next. Everyone's gonna watch a movie anyway. The next movie.
It's gonna be the next one. It's gonna be in a year.
I want to know what they do differently, though.
Yeah.
I'm like 95% sure Captain America is gonna die. That's like the number one way to wrap the series because what he represents is
America.
Well, yeah, but like the Avengers. It's like, so the Avengers do die, but they win. In a sense.
Well, that's a real sacrifice.
The purpose of Infinity War is to disband the Avengers. Technically,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the end of the Avengers because the Avengers were created for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So once they get rid of the biggest threat in the universe, there's no reason for them to exist. And that's why they tied in with that in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And then new life. It's kind of the end of a chapter.
Yeah.
For, like the Marvel universe. So
And if
someone has to die.
well, we know that Phase 4 is coming, but we'll see what they decide to do with that, and if they get that whole thing with 20th Century Fox. But that's the thing that I don't know. If
Oh yeah, we're getting a TV series on Squirrel Girl, I think.
yeah,
I'm hyped.
no, I'm saying like if we.
I mean,
The thing that I'm really scared of, if 20th Century Fox if Disney gets the merger from 20th Century Fox, will we lose Deadpool? Because
Deadpool. For what?
will we lose Deadpool?
Wait, is he on 20th Century?
Yeah, he's under 20th Century Fox, and the only reason why they can make R-rated Deadpool movies is because it's not through Disney.
Oh, you're right. Well, I think this will be the last Deadpool. I think
Like,
will be interesting. I don't know what Ryan Reynolds' contract covers for like if he's allowed to act in a different Deadpool movie. Like if they merge. If they merge,
I don't think that they can ever make a good Deadpool movie like they did for the first. Like,
What do you think about this?
they would have to.
I think
He would be
big-
super dumbed down.
This would be a big deal because like Deadpool's already established now. Everyone knows it's successful. I think at this point Disney, I think they could merge with it, but 20th Century Fox will still make R-rated movies. Like,
Well, yeah, 20th Century Fox will still make the films that they want to make. It's just
Yeah.
that they won't release it under, like, but Disney owns all Marvel property at that point.
yeah,
So, even if 20th Century Fox wants to make an R-rated movie, they would have to go through Disney to get approval to make a Deadpool
But
R-rated.
I think at this point they know, like Hollywood, like Disney knows Hollywood. They're basically Hollywood, and they would know what sells. And I know they're not gonna fly like doing a Deadpool movie without Ryan Reynolds, and they also know that it's not gonna fly by taking away what made it great.
Yeah,
People are gonna be
Well,
outraged.
it's just a matter if Disney wants to fuck with it or not.
So it matters like has Disney
And the X-Men.
released- R-rated stuff. I mean,
Disney's never.
we could do a remake of X-Men. I don't mind. Yeah, I mean, maybe more recent X-Men movies are okay. Maybe not from like a plot standpoint, but they at least they look better. Like the previous movies, X-Men movies aren't really great, at all.
Yeah.
I mean, Wolverine movies. Okay, look, if people are gonna hate X-Men Origins Wolverine, I personally liked it, but just cause it's like it's all subjective. It's really bad, like plot wise, and like jumping through like all the time periods and everything like that, and it's really not consistent. But it's like it's mindless fun, and I always like origin stories of like Wolverine. Anything with Hugh Jackman is made good. Although I think Logan's his last.
Yeah.
So you'd probably have to just reintroduce or
A new
just leave out
Wolverine.
the X-Men because it's like a curse. It's like the double-edged sword of having Hugh Jackman do Wolverine, right, for so long, because he's like the best Wolverine ever. But now that he's gone, it's like you might as well not include him in the future movies. It's like you're gonna bring in some kid or some guy who would take over. Like, who would take over the cast? Like, you'd have a random bald guy as Savior,
I mean,
and like,
you never know.
he's just a fake.
But yeah, we
Well,
still have a lot to.
Bruce Willis. I'll read Mars now.
Bruce Willis is one of those bald, ripped
Choices
guys
now. I'm
who
just
just
thinking of
can't, you
random
can't
bald
let it
guy.
happen.
Make The Rock just
The Rock.
everyone.
The Rock, Kevin Hart as Quicksilver.
The Rock as his sister. Well,
Yeah.
I mean Quicksilver. So it's like it's super weird because they killed. There's two Quicksilvers, technically, right?
There's a
Because-
Quicksilver from X-Men and there's the Quicksilver from the Avengers.
Yeah, and they're the same, right? Technically, lore-wise. So it's like the one we're staying with is the current one who died.
Yeah.
Technically.
AKA Kick-Ass.
Yeah, and the girl, what's her name?
Scarlet
Olsen,
Witch.
She's still the same one.
Yep.
What happened to her accent, man?
She became American.
I think I don't know if people are addressing that. Like, it wasn't good to begin with, but it was like stronger. I don't know if it's because like you just get used to speaking. I guess they really just like I think they just assume people would just not care, because I definitely noticed it. Like she's just talking normally in Infinity War.
Well, you have to consider how much time has passed too.
Yeah.
Considering from when they picked her up.
I mean, we could just say like your
Like,
accent just gets used to it.
I mean, yeah, when you stay in a place for so long, you learn their accent. Like,
But it's
you
like
know.
I mean, she spent her entire like young life in.
so what? Like, we had the dude who's from Tennessee who now who talks, like he's from California. Like, that's just that's only for being here for like 2 years. Like, you,
Yeah.
Yo,
Was it 2 years?
yeah, he's been.
What was the time skip again from the last Avengers? Because like they said, oh, everyone was split up. You
Well,
know?
okay, the first Avengers is when they picked him up, or second Avengers, Age of Ultron is when
Yeah.
they pick him up. So what is? So you're asking what is the
Because they have a
how
whole thing with,
much
like, oh,
time between Age of Ultron?
they mentioned it at the start of the movie. It's like because how long were they staying in Scotland?
Yeah, well,
But that's also a little bit after the time. It's like basically when they all divided, at the end of Age of Ultron.
yeah. Well, you have to consider that there's Civil War too. There's a lot going on. Like after that, did she have her accent in Civil War?
Oh yeah, wait, Civil War's movie. Forgot about that. Yeah.
She had the accent still, or she did.
Civil War, yeah.
So she
Wait, hold on. Why am I forgetting the
'Cause-
entire Civil War movies?
Civil War was technically a Captain America. It wasn't an Avengers.
Yeah. What happened at the end of Civil War? Oh no, yeah.
Civil War. I mean,
Yeah, she still had her accent.
she still had her accent.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so then was it just a?
But she was starting to lose it.
So, yeah, that just proves that.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you could say that. It's just like.
Well, maybe just being with Vision, you
I
just pick
guess,
up on.
Yeah. I mean, she's smart. She just.
Yeah, it's like how
Learn how to speak.
the longer we spend on Twitch, the more memey and fucking
Yeah, Pepe.
like Pepe Hands,
Catchy
Dance
tags.
Game, Omega Lol.
Yeah,
It's just things that built
Definitely.
into you. It's because of the culture that you surround yourself with.
Dark
So,
Dragon Master.
not like this.
Use my Dark Shadow Blade.
Not like this.
Oh yeah, +2 attack.
This is why I play Slay the Spire when you guys try to play Overwatch. So yeah, overall that'll wrap it up. Thank you everybody for tuning in. For the 2 or 3 of you guys who decided to drop in, this is more hardcore. We definitely want to do some more stuff like this.
Just it's almost like a letting it all out kind of episode.
Yeah, it's good for us so that we don't have to spill everything out for another
During the season.
during the
Go
season,
back
or
here before 4 weeks.
to come back here for a week. So literally the week after Memorial Day. So it will be the first weekend of June will be when we come back. But yeah, and also we moved our show to Friday. So
Yeah.
we'll see you guys on Friday, not Thursday anymore.
For the main show.
For the main show.
Yeah,
So
it's more just like a chilling out, hanging out.
yep. Our next one is Persona 5. I'm working on it right now, so don't ask for too much. We will
Be hype.
be doing quite a bit for Persona 5. So that'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys want to follow us for more stuff, we do have stuff for Twitter and Discord and our email, all that other stuff over there. So
Contact
yeah, on top
us.
of that, on our Twitter, we're also doing Caption This. It's from Boku no Hero Academy.
Yeah.
If you guys caption it, we will give you some KP or Kana points, which is our loyalty points. You guys could use that towards, whatever things that we happen
just
to
spend
happen
it
to
on
offer.
anything. Just buy some of our used dill pickles.
Yeah, this is why we need help. But other than that, feel free to hit us up.
Just feel free to hit us up on social media.
Yep.
And
That's about
we'll
it.
answer anything, man. Join our Discord, man. We're just building a community. We're just here to have a good time, man. It's not always hating Darling episode 14. Sometimes it's coming together in episode 16. That's what the anime community is about.
So yeah, we'll see you guys Friday for Persona 5, and until then, we'll see you later.